Come on. Stand up back, Brett, so we can all hear you.
Yeah.
Right, get him back. Go on, son.
Go on, lad.
I'm not looking forward to this, to be honest, but I've got to do it, so I'm going to do it. First of all, I'd like you to all be a proper toast and be upstanding this time, and toast to Gay and Alan for putting on today. I reckon it's such a lovely day for us all.
Thank you, Harry.
It really was a pleasure to be asked to do this for Ben and Amber today, to be asked to be best man, though I don't feel worthy of the title. As shocking. You actually think the best man is sat right here? That is the only bit that I got off the internet at this bit. I'd also like to raise a toast to Poppy and Charlotte, our bridesmaids. If you could raise another toast, please. I think you'll all agree look absolutely stunning today. Amber, you really do look stunning today. Ben, you just look stunned. To be honest, you do look very smart, which is a bit of a shock because I did think you'd have probably ordered your suit from Todd's. Ben told all his friends he was getting married. We were both delighted. They've been pretty much inseparable, and it's obvious to us all that they are actually meant to be together. Right, a bit about Ben Hatfield Crosby. After speaking with Sue, Ben's mum, about Ben's early years, she told me what a wonderfully sweet-natured, content little baby he was. Only let down by the fact that he was deeply ugly. I can remember the first time I met Ben. I was 11 years old and I was biking into Purtley Bridge along the Bewley Road from Glasshouses. There was this chubby ginger kid with a walking this huge donkey-sized dog. So I stopped and I said, "Car, that's a big dog." To which he looked at me and he said, "Yeah, and it eats little boys on crap bikes." So I thought he was a bit of an idiot. A few weeks later, I started high school, and there he was in my class. We soon became friends, hung around in the same circle of friends, and caused plenty of mischief between us all. So it didn't matter what any of us did, Ben was always the one that got caught. Those of you here today that were at school with Ben will remember he spent most of his school life in detention or stacking chairs on a dinner time, counting down the hours until school had finished so he could get out on his bike and cause more mischief. I remember one winter, Glasshouses pond was frozen over. A few of us were playing on the ice in the dark. Ben sneaked off and smashed a big hole in the ice. Stood at the other side of it shouting, "Brett, come here, come here." So I walked over. "Come here, I want to tell you something," I said. "Come closer." didn't see it, it was dark. Fell straight through the hole, into the icy water. Came back up to where Ben stood there just shouting, yes, yes. So to say Ben has always been a good friend would be a lie. But he has got better with age. When we were 21, we went travelling around the world for a year. Before we'd even set off, we got to Heathrow Airport, and I'd lost Ben for a bit. Then all of a sudden, he drove past on one of those electric car things with the trolleys and luggage, pulling that, with its lights flashing, pipping its horn, shouting, Brett's gay, Brett's gay. I knew then it was going to be an experience. There's lots of stories about our travels, but one that is suitable enough to tell today is our first night we arrived in the Cook Islands. We'd booked into a hostel, and for all the new guests arriving that night, they'd arranged a special welcome night out for us at a beach bar with Somalian music and dancers, coconuts, grass skirts, the works. We've been travelling about 8 months by now. Me and Ben have become quite good at getting drunk as cheaply as possible. This trick was go out already drunk. This night we bought a bottle of whiskey, drank it while we were getting ready, and off we all went on this bus to this bar. Another thing we'd become very good at was getting thrown out. And after not very long, sure enough we did. So we sat outside this bar for the night and waited for the bus to get back to the hostel. When eventually this bus turned up, after 10 minutes and an incident on the bus involving Ben calling a Scottish bloke a German idiot, that's the polite version, and pulling up his shorts giving him a wedgie, we got thrown off that, and I mean literally launched by some big locals. After picking ourselves up and dusting ourselves off, arguing whose fault this was, we realised it was our first night here. We had no idea where we were, or where we were supposed to be staying, or what it was called. So we decided to just set off walking and hope for the best. Eventually we saw some lights and what looked like a long road, so we climbed over a fence with a foreign notice on we couldn't understand or really cared about at the time, and set off for what we thought was just a cheeky shortcut. After walking along this really long straight tarmac well lit road, we realised we'd climbed an electric fence, broken into the airport, and this so-called long road was in fact the main runway. Though this didn't bother Ben, his response was, I know, let's have a look for some of them steps they drive up to planes and we'll drive home on them. Luckily we didn't find any. To his friends, Ben's not always been the sharpest tool in the box. I mean, for instance, when we went into the takeaway shop after a night out once, they asked, do you want your pizza cut into 4 or 6 slices? Ben said, you best make it 4, I'll never eat 6. Also, a time in Thailand when Ben decided to have his head shaved, he walked out of the barber's and cut his head open on a mind your head sign. When I said, didn't you see it? He said yes, but it was written in Thai. All the time in Malaysia, when we got stopped by some dodgy angry police for riding our motorbikes the wrong way down a one-way street, they threw us in this old shack, pinned us against the wall, didn't they? And they were screaming at us, demanding to know our names. Ben looked at me and said, Brett, whatever you do, don't tell them your name. But to anyone that knows Ben, will say he's a doer, he's not a sayer. Ben is a hard worker, he's a great lad with a big heart, and as a friend, it's great to see he's found someone as special as Amber. And I can honestly say I've never seen him so happy. It gives me immense pleasure to invite you all to be upstanding and raise a toast to Amber and Ben, the new Mr. and Mrs. Crosby. Thank God for that.